Hello, everyone. Welcome to Becoming Financially Free in 2023. Andrew Logan here. Great to be starting this event with you. And right off the start, you might notice a new setup, a new background, new setup for the videos. Spent the Christmas holidays just rearranging some things in the office, in the house, because I wanted to upgrade the video equipment, wanted to upgrade the audio equipment and start doubling down, 10xing on the video content and live events and all those sorts of things. So I really hope you like the setup. The one thing I need to bring attention to straight away is this table, this incredible, beautiful table that my wife actually made. Let me just remove this branding here for a second as well, so you can even see even more. She's made this incredibly beautiful table. You can't see all the intricacies of the legs, but I'll pop some photos up on my Facebook later. My wife comes from a family of furniture makers, carpenters, coopers, all those people who work with timber, and so this is actually a tree from our house, and she's turned it into a table. There's a coffee table there. There's vases, as you can see behind me. Lots of really cool things that Angie and her family have made. But anyway, let's put that branding back up. But let's get into today's training, and it's absolutely great to have you here. Before we get into the training, I'd love to know where you are listening in from, where you are tuning in from, and also what the time is, because it is 6 a.m. Sunday morning here in Brisbane in Australia. It's very bright and early, but that's the joys of hitting time zones all around the world. There's never going to be an ideal time. This time's not too bad for me because I'm an early riser. It may not be for everyone, but I think it's about 3 p.m. for our New York Eastern residents. I think it's about 8 p.m. for our UK residents. I would love to know in the comments section here. Here we go. Oh, look here. We've got Richie. We've got German. Well, German's in from New Zealand. I know that. We've got Betty. Yes, what a table. Thank you. Vancouver. Oh, beautiful, Chris. Oh, I used to live in Whistler. And we're hoping to come back and do a white Christmas this year as well with the family. I lived in Whistler for a couple of years. We've got Peter in from New South Wales, Linda from Toronto. Oh, speaking of Canada again, we've got Finland, we've got France. This is awesome. People from all around the world. Again, Toronto. I had a crazy little time in Toronto a few years ago. Went to a Buffalo Bills game, went to Niagara Falls, all those sorts of things. Now, super quickly, if we do have anyone, we haven't seen anyone from America just yet, but do we have any NFL fans in here? Because if you're an NFL fan like I am, I'm a big Buffalo fan. I've messed up, haven't I? Because wildcard weekend starts in about 90 minutes time. So if you are a Seahawks or a Niners fan, I do apologize. You might miss the first quarter or so. I'm a Bills fan, so I'm up tomorrow. So it's all okay. So, we got South Dakota. Hannah. Oh, hey, Hannah. Hey, Betty. Hey, Julia. Hey, Mandy. Happy birthday, Mandy, for the other day. All right. Now, great to have you all here. I would love to know, is this the first time you've ever seen me present? So if this is the first time you've ever seen me do a live event, you've found me in the last sort of 6 months or so since I did my last event, I'd love to know. Indra. Indra's a fan. Yes. Awesome. Well, Indra, you've seen me present many times. Mandy has seen me present many times. But if this is your first time, I'd love to just hear your thoughts about this event, getting excited about the event. I'll just run you through super quickly just the logistics. We're going to be going for probably 2 to 2.5 hours. We'll just see how time goes. If we go a little bit late, we will stop for a quick break halfway through. It's probably, to be honest, it's probably about an hour and a half to 2 hours. But if I say an hour and a half and then I go for 2, everyone feels really frustrated because I went late. If I tell you 2.5 hours and we finish at 2, then everyone's really happy because we were like efficient and on time and you got a little early mark. So let's just say, hey, Vicky, Frederick's first event. Linda, yes, how you doing? Janice, yes, love it. Love the table, absolutely love the table. As I said, if you don't follow my wife, go follow my wife on Facebook, Angie Logan Schmieder, and she's got the before photos. I'm sure she'll put the after photos up later today because I was away yesterday in Sydney, and so she just wanted to keep this table a surprise when I got home late last night. All right, now, let's get into the training, as I said. So it's going to be in 3 parts. So I'm just going to quickly share a bit of my background, a bit of my story, and how I really found the network marketing industry and just how we saw the industry as well. Because from the very start, Angie and I probably saw it a little bit differently. And because we saw it differently, we're able to get abnormal results as well, being able to get abnormally good results. And so what I love to do is show people just sort of that different look, that different mindset. So hopefully you can get abnormal results as well. We'll go through that 4-step process, that 4-stage process, and the 2 key skills you need to learn at each step. And then right at the end, I'll show you how to accelerate your results as well. So if you want to go through the process, that's awesome. If you want to accelerate the process, I will show you how to do that as well. Now, thank you. Oh, yes, Janice, you did. Yes, and thank you, Richie. Thank you for supporting the podcast. Now, super quickly, if you are getting value out of this and you want to share it out to your friends, share it out to your team, share it out to people in your groups and stuff like that, we have just created a brand new program. And it's so brand new that I haven't actually even got it back from the digital creators. I recorded everything sort of just before Christmas. And then obviously with Christmas, there's been a couple of little delays. All the content's been recorded. It's all there. And the digital creator, Jack, my video guy, is just finalizing it. It'll be ready in the next sort of 24 to 48 hours. But if you do hit that share button, if you are getting value, you want to share it out, just pop in the comments that you've shared. Let me know that you've shared, and then shoot me a private message either on Facebook or Instagram, and I will send you this program, this 4 Steps to 4-Figure Months program that you can use to obviously help build your business. So I just wanted to let you know about that. So if you are sharing it out, if you're getting value, get me through, here's Instagram. You can hit me up through Instagram at Andrew James Logan, or just through Facebook, obviously through the link that we're streaming on here. Anyway, let's get into the training. Let's get going. So I'm going to bring in my little trusty flip chart, and I'm going to talk about this flip chart a bit later on as we go through, but I'm going to bring in my flip chart, and I want to just share a little bit of my background, a bit of Andrew and I background, and how we found this industry. And I know I talk about a lot in my book, but you can't tell everything in the book, obviously, and some of the story you probably haven't heard. But I always had this goal of being financially free at 33. It was like, how do I be #financially free at 33? That was the big goal. And I'd gone through school, I'd gone through university, I had a good degree, I had a good job, all those sorts of things. And it just wasn't adding up. And I don't know if anyone else can understand this. Thank you, Richie. Richie's first to share. Now, it wasn't adding up. And so I started reading books, as you do. You start looking for information. You start looking for sort of virtual mentors and people who can help you. And came across Robert Kiyosaki. And I'm sure you've all heard of Robert Kiyosaki, his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, very famous book, obviously. But his second book is actually better. And his second book is about the cash flow quadrant. And that's when it started to make sense. But unfortunately, because I was a young male at the time, it didn't really totally 100% make sense until a couple of years later, till it all really fell into place. But I knew that at the end of the day, I knew that no matter how hard I worked, I wouldn't get ahead without putting my money to work. That was the one thing I understood from Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So I was working as a physiotherapist, as a sports physiotherapist. I got to travel a bit with teams and stuff like that. I had a good income, but I knew I wanted to have freedom, and I knew that meant I had to invest my money. So you're learning about stocks, you're learning about commodities, you're learning about currencies, you're learning about property, all those sorts of things. But here was my problem, right? So there was like me here. And then over here is freedom. And it just seemed like such a big leap to get from here to there. Because when you put your money to work, when you start investing, the process can be a bit slow. It can be a bit boring. It can be a bit methodical. And again, I was single. I was young. I was in my sort of early to mid 20s. I was earning a good 6-figure income. I was living below my means. I was, share housing with some mates, and we all had great fun, and we were all saving up money. But even if I could get, $5,000 to $10,000 together, I had this jackpot mindset. And it's like, how do I turn $10,000 into $1 million now? Like I've saved up, I've worked hard, I've hustled and scrimped and done all these sorts of things. And I've got myself to a point where I can save up, and I put $10,000 into commodities, into currencies, into stocks, into options, into CFDs, you name it, I tried it. Because I kept having this home run mindset. It was like, how do I go from $10,000 to $1 million straight away? Oh, so we've got Betty. Oh, Chris shared. Post. Awesome. Look at all these shares. Thank you, guys. So this was my problem. Now, the only way at the end of the day to make $10,000 turn into $1 million is well, there's two ways. You get incredibly lucky. And I couldn't bank on that. I could have bought $10,000 worth of lotto tickets over and over and over again. Or you take incredibly stupid risks. And that's what I was doing. I was taking incredibly stupid risks. So I was sitting there saying, you know what? I'm going to bet the farm on this stock. And you know what? Sometimes I did okay. Sometimes I would make some good money. But the problem is once you make that money, you then turn around the next day and lose it because you think about doubling down again. Well, if I turn $10,000 into $100,000, I could turn $100,000 into $1 million. Instead, you turn $100,000 into zero. That was me and my jackpot mindset in my early 20s, right? So we'll come back to this in a sec, but I learned this process from the cash flow quadrant, which is what we call ESBI. And Robert Kiyosaki talks about this as far as you're an employee, then you move to self-employed, then you move to business owner, then you move to investor. And with that, I could get up to sort of this point in my career. I could figure out, I started as a physiotherapist, then I went into physiotherapy practice where I had some staff. I was sort of self-employed with a small business. But once again, I could never get over this side of the quadrant. And I'm trying to come here and say, all right, well, I've got this $5,000, I've got this $10,000 that I've saved up. I'm going to become an investor straight away and make stupid risks, right? And then we found network marketing. Then we found this industry, and we found it about a week before I turned 30. And when it all sort of came together, when we figured out what was going on here, and when we truly understood what we had, we understood that we weren't going to find financial freedom through network marketing. And I want to just get that elephant out in the room out straight away. You will not find financial freedom through network marketing, but you will find financial freedom through using the vehicle of network marketing to help you create more money, which you can then invest. And that's what we really have. We have the most incredible vehicle. We have the most incredible stepping stone on the process to creating freedom. And this, stepping stone, this middleman of network marketing that can take you to freedom is the best kept secret in wealth creation. Because here I was with, I've got my $10,000, I'm going to turn my $10,000 into freedom. And it didn't work. Never worked. But what we did find was, hey, actually we can start a network marketing business for $500, let's say, and then we could start to earn $50, $100, $200, $300. At the start, it was $200 to $300 a week was our sort of main goal. And what we realized was this $200 to $300 a week we could put into property. And then we'd use that money to then come back and grow our business more. And then with growing our business more, we could put more money into property. And we created what we call a wealth loop. And it's through that wealth loop that you create financial freedom through network marketing. So what we need to understand is so often we try and see network marketing as the destination, as the end goal, as the freedom process. Network marketing is the stepping stone that allows you to create cash. Now for us, as I said, I was sitting there trying to turn $5,000, $10,000 into $1 million. We found network marketing and we turned $500 into multiple seven figures. And that multiple seven figures will continue to pay us. It continues to pay us. And we've also turned that into multiple seven figures of property that will continue to grow and be, 8 figures at some point soon, all that kind of stuff. And it all just comes down through this process. So I want to take you back. Yes. Thank you, guys. So we've got more people sharing. So again, once you share, just let me know. We'll send you out this program. So for some of you guys, actually, I should say, so Betty, Janice, some of it, who else we got in here? So a few of our elite guys, you get this program anyway. So for my elite guys, you get the program anyway. But I do appreciate you, Peter, Linda. I do appreciate you sharing out as well. You guys get all the programs all the time. I just haven't, as I said, I haven't finished it yet. So I haven't had a chance to upload it. So I want to come back to this quadrant, but I want to take you through it in a different way, because once I realized how to turn this quadrant into network marketing and actually like blend the two together, that's when we realized how to build our team, and that's when we realized how to truly create financial freedom. So Robert Kiyosaki talks about this cash flow quadrant as employee, self-employed, business owner, investor. But what if we break it down a bit and we take it back a notch and we look at the fact that actually as an employee, you earn an active income, and as a self-employed, you earn a leveraged income, a slightly leveraged income, but a leveraged income no matter what. As a business owner, you earn this beautiful residual income word. And then as an investor, you earn passive income. And this was the real key. Like when this light bulb went off, and again, admittedly, I was a male, so it took a few years for it all to come together, right? I still am a male, but I was a young male. But when it all came together and this light bulb went off, it absolutely made so much sense. I couldn't get my head around it. I could not, like, hang on. I understood that we'd finally found the holy grail of wealth creation. It was like, oh my goodness, have a go at this, because I could get, I could start here as an employee, I could get a small business, and then I'm trying to jump over here and take risks. But I could actually go through this process and create that residual income that allowed us to double down, triple down, 5x, 10x our investing budget. So I want to take you through this 4-step process of the active income, the leveraged income, the residual income, and the passive income, and show you how to do that today. Because this residual income, especially, we love to talk about that. We love to scream about residual income, and this will be my next book, where we really focus on this residual income, and is it actually a myth? Is residual income a myth? Because the reality is, a lot of the stuff we talk about in this industry, a lot of times when we talk about, I'm earning residual income, we're actually not yet. And as an industry, we're really, really, really good at teaching this. We're like excellent at teaching this. We're okay at teaching this, and we're terrible at teaching this. In fact, if anything, we negatively teach this. We're counterproductive. We do the opposite of what we're supposed to do here. And I've seen, incredible top number one 7-figure earners go broke because they don't know how to do this, and they're taught the wrong things and they listen to the wrong people. 7-figure annual earners, not 7-figure cumulative, 7-figure annual earners having to sell the family home, the family car, all those sorts of things just to pay their bills because they got caught up in this. They were taught the wrong things. And as an industry, we teach these things incorrectly. And that's what I really want to help show people. So is this making sense so far? Is this making sense for everyone? I just want to check in before we go on to the next step. Now, with that, actually, just while we do that, I want to recognize Richie, because Richie was the first to share. So, Richie, not only are we going to send you that program, but I want to spin the wheel for you as well, because you were the first to share. I always like to do little giveaways while we're on live, so reward the people who get on live. 4 steps. You've already got that. Let's spin again. Richie, we've got a mentoring call. So again, once you shoot me a message, Richie, I'm going to send you a link, and you and I will have a 30-minute mentoring call as well. Thank you for being the first to share. So if you're getting involved, as I say, if you're sharing, if you're commenting, all that kind of stuff, every now and then we'll just take a little break and spin that wheel as well, and you can win some extra prizes. So, all right, let's get moving. Yes, making sense. All right, cool. So let's move into these 4 stages and the 2 key skills that you need at each stage. Now, just a quick disclaimer before we go any further. These first couple of steps, as I said, as an industry, we're really, really, really good at teaching these. So if you're sitting there like, oh, boring, I know these sorts of things. Well, yeah, hopefully. Do you know them? Are you doing them? I just always ask, make sure you're doing them. Don't just know them. Make sure you're actually out there putting them into action. But it's over here where we're going to really get into the juice. But We're going to take it step by step because there may be some people who are brand new. There may be some people who are still working on this first step. So, stage one, active income. So stage one, active income, we talk about active income as, selling time for money. Why do I want to join network marketing? Why do I want to leave my job? Because I'm sick of trading time for money. Active income is if you do X, I will pay you Y. You sell time or a service for money. In a job, you sell 40 hours a week, or maybe you're a contractor, maybe you have certain skills, you complete this job, you get paid X. Now, in network marketing, we get active income. We don't like to talk about it because we're like, oh no, I don't have a job. Active income is for fools and suckers. But a lot of network marketing is active income. And the active income is when you sign someone up. When someone joins your company, when you enroll someone, you sponsor someone, you bring them into your team, and you associate, and you customer, and you distributor, however you want to call them, whatever you want to say, right? The reality is you get paid an active income on that. You did X and the company paid you Y. If you bring in 2 people, 2X, you get paid 2Y. If you bring in 10X, you get paid 10Y, right? The company will pay you for the enrollments, and then once you stop enrolling people, they stop paying you for the enrollments. They might pay you for other aspects of the plan, and we'll talk about that in a sec. But the reality is a lot of what we do, especially at the start, is active income. So we shouldn't ever be like, oh, active income, silly, blah, blah, as if you'd work for money. I love working for money. As long as it's something I love to do, I've got no problem with working for money. I want to work for money. I want to support people. I want to help more people. I want to be out there doing the things I want to do. Active income is great as long as we understand it. So if we do X, we get paid Y, we enroll people. What are the 2 key skills we need in network marketing to enroll people? Pretty simple. We need to know how to network, and we need to know how to market. They are the 2 key skills that you need in network marketing: how to network and how to market. That's the fundamental process, right? And it seems so simple, but what else do you do in network marketing but market to your network, right? So we need to network. We need to be able to meet people. We need to be able to build a list. We need to be able to continue to grow our list. And then we need to be able to market to that list. Again, I'm probably not telling you something you don't know just yet. You probably know all this in theory, but do you actually know how to put it into action? So, who has trouble with finding people to talk to? Do you have trouble with finding people to talk to? I've run out of people to talk to. I don't know where to find people. All those sorts of challenges. I've got these incredible products. My product is amazing, but no one wants to buy it. All those sorts of things. Does anyone have trouble with that? Cool. Yes, a couple of people are being honest. Yes, awesome. All right, so let's look at key skill number 1, which is how to network. Now, the key to networking is finding people who are similar to you. If we're going to network, what we tend to try and do is, and often, so many times in our industry, we are our own worst enemy. And your company owner is going to get up on stage and say, everyone's going to want this. And then they're going to say, but also expect 9 out of 10 people to say no. It's like, well, I thought everyone wanted it. If everyone wanted it, wouldn't 10 out of 10 people say yes? Why would I get 90% no's if everyone wants it, right? It's confusing. And the reality is not everyone is going to want your product. Not everyone cares about their health. Not everyone cares about their skin. Not everyone wants to do the work to change their financial situation because it is work. We do need to work to change our financial situation. Not everyone wants to do it. So we need to find people who are like us. And the way to do that is to really know our brand. And I'm sure you've heard about brand, I'm sure you've heard about niche, I'm sure you've heard about all those things all the time, but do you truly know how to create your brand? Because for so many people, my brand is being happy. My brand is health. My brand is, positivity. Guys, that is not a brand. You're trying to be like pizza. You're trying to just be everything to everyone. When you brand yourself, you need to be able to know exactly who you are, what you're good at, what you love to do, and something that we call your USP. Now, your USP in marketing terms is your unique selling proposition. Your unique selling proposition is like FedEx. It absolutely positively has to be there overnight. Everyone knows what FedEx is. It's not, hey, do you want your stuff mailed and it's all nice and pretty and our people will smile and take a photo when they deliver your package? It's like this has to be there overnight. They want to talk to high-flying corporate companies, important people who want to send important documents, and they'll pay 3 times as much as the postal service because they want important documents to their important customers, to their important clients, so they look important. Right? FedEx knows exactly who they are. They're not trying to be the cheapest. They're not trying to be the best. They want to be the fastest and the most reliable, right? It absolutely positively has to be there overnight. That is their unique selling proposition. In network marketing, I like to fiddle with these letters a little bit. Like pizza. I like to fiddle with these letters a little bit. So USP, I like to talk about it as your unique superpower. So I'll give you a quick example. I have a couple of unique selling powers, unique superpowers, I should say. One of them is that I love CrossFit. CrossFit's a crazy sport. I've been doing it for 15 years or so now. Very, cultural sort of mindset, and we love it, and we all do it. And people think we're crazy. It's still quite divisive. Some people love it, some people hate it, all that kind of stuff. But the reality is, am I the best CrossFitter in the world? Absolutely not. Could I brand myself as CrossFitter? No, I could, but there's tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people who do CrossFit, hundreds of thousands of people who post a lot about CrossFit, tens of thousands of people who are better at CrossFit than me, and there literally are tens of thousands of people who are better at CrossFit than me because thanks to CrossFit, they do an annual competition. It's coming up in a couple of weeks, and you submit your scores. And I know that in the world, I'm about the 10,000th best CrossFitting male, 40 to 45 years old, right? So there are teenagers better than me. There are older people, younger people, females, all these people in the world better than me at CrossFit. But what I do have is I also have 15 years experience as a sports physiotherapist. So not only do I love CrossFit, but I know the human body quite well. That's an expertise that I had from my old life. That was a passion. That was something I educated myself in. That's something I dedicated myself to. So my USP could be showing CrossFitters how to take care of their body. Now, do I happen to have a product that could help with that? Yeah, that's awesome, right? And when you talk about that, but you lead with finding people who care enough about their body, people who want to do what's best for their body, people who prioritize health. I'm going to talk to them about a health product more than just talking to the average person in the street who probably doesn't care about their health. So your unique superpower comes from things that you are good at and things that you love. And we find this sort of little Venn diagram here of what are you good at and what do you love? And if you're good at something, I'm pretty good at the human body and I love CrossFit, then you can find your unique selling proposition, your unique superpower in here. And that's where you're going to find people who A, like you, find common ground with you. I love CrossFit too, and they care about the human body. And you know what? You've also got a little bit of an expertise, and we'll talk about that in marketing in a sec. You've got an expertise that puts you into a niche. All right, we talk about niche marketing. Being happy is not a niche, right? Helping people get healthy is not a niche. Find what you're good at and what you love, and then you'll find your niche. So how did I end up doing this? Well, because we're pretty good at this whole network marketing thing. We've had pretty good results, Angie and I, but I love talking about financial freedom. I love talking about wealth creation. I love talking about actually showing people how to take that next step, how to get there and really turn their income into financial freedom, how to leverage what they're earning and turn it into a legacy. Hence the name of the business, Leverage to Legacy, right? It's about what are the things you're good at, what have you developed, and what do you love to talk about? That is your unique selling proposition, okay? Networking. That's how you network. Now, super quickly, if you have trouble with that, you can download this, the Attraction Marketing Blueprint, okay? It's going to take you through this whole process. Lots of pretty diagrams, questions you've got to ask yourself. There's some, demo ones there. We've got the trackers, all that kind of stuff. You can download that. Let me pop the banner up for that. There, andrewlogan.net/attract. Okay, so you can just download that PDF for free if you have already. If you haven't, go and grab that, and it's going to help take you through this process of really knowing who you are and what you represent. Because once we know who we are, it's easier to find people who are similar to us. And how do we do that? We do that through marketing. Now, in this case, marketing is a two-step process. So we've networked, and now we need to market. So in this case, we need to do two things to market to people. We need to give them value so that they know that we understand who they are, what they want to do, what their goals are. We can speak their language, basically. When we sit here and talk about network marketing, we can speak the language of volume, of rank advancements, of distributors, of residual income, all those sorts of things. We're going to speak different language to other people who are doing different types of marketing or different types of business. When I talk to CrossFitters, I talk about WODs and recoveries and benchmarks and RMs and all those sorts of things. Stuff that the average gym goer doesn't talk about. I was chatting with a friend just yesterday who was a runner, and we're talking about her splits and her goals because I used to be a runner. So I knew that I could talk to her in her language. So when we talk to our network and we market to them, we give them value based on who we are and understanding their pain point. And then we have our offer. So when you're giving value to your network, when you're giving value to your people, what you're doing is you're not sitting there saying, hey, I've got a product, this product here, okay, and it's got this ingredient, it's got this thing, and the scientific research says that this ingredient is really amazing. This is high performance, it's felt tip, and felt tip is amazing, and it's really high performance, and you should buy it because that is a load of horse poo. No one is going to engage in that post. No one's going to find that interesting. They're just going to be like, man, all Andrew cares about is trying to sell me this pen. Doesn't care about me. He doesn't understand my pain. What is high performance? What is felt? And why do you need a felt tip? Who cares? Okay. That is not marketing. Sitting there saying, look at all my products. Look at how amazing they are. Look at how incredible they are is not marketing. Marketing is knowing how to give value to your people, and you do that through understanding their pain and understanding how you can help them. So again, if I've got my CrossFitters, and I know CrossFitters struggle with shoulder pain a lot because a lot of them are pretty terrible with mobility. A lot of them are pretty sort of driven and, somewhat stupid. We don't like to take rest days and that. So I know, because I do it and because I love it and I've spent time in it, I know that CrossFitters always seem to struggle with shoulder pain. So I could do value of lives, of posts, of reels, talking about ways to stretch your shoulder, ways to recover, mobility exercises for your thoracic spine, ways to make sure that when you're lifting, you're not impinging your shoulder. I can create value where CrossFitters like, man, Andrew knows what he's talking about. Now then I have an offer. Right? And again, the offer, I'm sure you've seen this, I'm sure you've heard it, we're going through the fundamentals, but if you don't know the fundamentals, it's not going to work. And we're going to talk about that even a lot more as we go. So value is knowing the pain that they're in. Offer is showing how you solve that pain. Now, again, when we offer, you don't offer, I'm a distributor for a multinational company that's in 14 different countries and we pay you in 37 different ways, and our science team is better looking and could beat up your science team as well. That's not an offer, right? Again, no one wants that. That's boring. Your offer is showing that your market, you understand their problem and you can help them. So I could offer with X without Y as the formula. And the X without Y is essentially I can help CrossFitters improve their performance without having to change their training schedule. Because I have a product or a program that could help CrossFitters improve their performance without needing to change their program, because they don't want to change their program, because they're obsessed. They're obsessed with it, right? I help CrossFitters improve their recovery without having to take extra days off. I help CrossFitters burn extra body fat without losing the muscle. All those sorts of things that would offer that because I'm not selling a product, I'm selling a solution to a problem in their life. These CrossFitters are getting pain, they're sore, they're frustrated, they're a bit puffy and inflamed because they're crazy and they're dedicated and they hate taking days off. I give them value by showing that I understand their pain, and then I offer with something that actually reduces a problem in their life without having to sacrifice. So if you're in skincare, I help you look 5 years younger without needing needles. If you're in travel, I help you have 5-star holidays without the 5-star credit card bill. You could help someone have financial freedom without having to be the top income earner in your company, which is what we want to talk about today. How to have financial freedom without needing to be the top income earner in your company. Because if you do this process properly, you can be the most financially free in your company without actually being the top earner. That's what I love to train people on. That's what I love to talk about. Now, the one other thing you can do is that you could sit there and say, I help X improve Y without Z. So we can just supercharge this offer. So again, I help CrossFitters improve their body composition without losing muscle tone. I help CrossFitters improve their scores, their WOD times, without having to change their training regime. So then we're really speaking dedicated to the audience. We're really speaking to our people with that. We're saying, you know what? I know exactly who I'm talking to. I'm talking to CrossFitters. I understand your human body. I'm going to give value on my social media talking to CrossFitters. I'm going to share about CrossFitters. I'm going to share about the process. I'm going to share about what we do, how I can help you with little things about how to stretch your body, how to recover your body, simple meals, stuff like that. And when I'm having conversations with people, I have an offer to show them what to do. Okay? Those are the two fundamental skills. Now, again, we could spend hours and hours on this alone, I know, but we're having a macro look at the whole process today. So those are the two key skills you need to master. You need to know how to network, which means you need to know who you are and what you represent and what you're really good at. And you need to sort of actually sit down with a piece of paper or use this, okay? And then you need to create your offer based off that. And again, hey, morning, Sharon, how are you? There's some help in that as well. There's also the business blueprint. This is the old one. It's just been updated. I haven't printed an updated one yet. But again, if you need help with the scripting, with the templates as well, andrewlogan.net/blueprint. Okay, you can download the blueprint there, and that will help you go through that process. So Peter's light's just gone on, which is awesome. Peter's light's just been lit up. So actually, we'll just jump back here super quickly. So where are we? So stage one is that we've learned to earn an active income. We enroll people. We have to enroll people. Like if we're not enrolling people, how do we grow our business? So stage one is this active income setup here, right? Next step then is to move into the leveraged income. So I'm going to talk you through stage two. Now, I'd love to know, of course, when we talk about stage two, as an industry, we are really, really, really good at this one. So I would love to know, I'm sure you all know it, what is the most important word? It starts with D. You hear it all the time. It's not what works, it's what duplicates, right? We all know it's not what works, it's what duplicates. We all need to do things that duplicate. So the key to leverage, the key to create more leverage in this industry is through the process of duplication. So stage two is about leveraging your income, okay? It's a leveraged income setup. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about duplication because as an industry, we're really good at it. I hope you truly understand how to do it, or you understand the importance, at least, of the process, skill number one of duplication. Couple of key things. Duplication does not mean copy and paste someone else's post and call it yourself. That is plagiarism. That is not duplication. That is just plagiarizing someone else's post, right? That is not what we want to do. Duplication does not mean copy and paste. And duplication does also not mean send 17,000 people the exact same text message today. You're going to jump off this, you're going to be all excited, which is awesome, but you're not going to send 10,000 people this exact same message, okay? That is not duplication, that is spamming. That is being a terrible human being. We don't want to be spammers. We want to know who we are, know what we represent, know the products and how we solve problems in people's life. And we're not just sending 20, 30, 40, 50 copy and paste messages out to people. Duplication means taking people through a process. Now, if you're at stage 2 here, the people you're taking through the process are at stage 1. So what's the key to stage 1? How to network and how to market. So the duplication process is showing them how to network and how to market. That's the key. So we show them, okay, I'm going to help you duplicate. I need you to find what you're really good at. Who do you want to work with? Who is your audience that you want to work with? What are the things that you're good at? What are the things that you love? Here's a template. Fill out this template, okay? Fill out this PDF. It's going to help you. Use the tools, use the systems, right? We are very, very good as an industry at talking about this. But let's keep it simple. Let's keep it nice and simple. The 2 things you need to do to launch your business are A, find out who you really want to talk to, and B, let's figure out what we can say to these people, because we're not just going to try and be everything to everyone. We're going to try and help certain people understand what they want in their life. So the duplication process, take them through the scripts, take them through the templates, help them create their own offer, help them create their own USP, help them create their own story. Do not give them stuff to copy and paste because that is lazy. And we'll talk about that in the next step particularly. But yes, duplication processes tools. Yes. Thank you, Peter. So we have tools, we have systems, we have processes to help people understand that we're helping them go through stage 1. If you're at stage 2, show them stage 1. If you're at stage 2, don't try and show them stage 3. You've got to get to stage 3 first. Help them just launch their business. Help them through this process and give them the scripts and tools and templates. The second skill we need to duplicate, and this is a bigger one, is we need to show them how to get paid. Get rid of that. We need to show them how to get paid. And this is a really important one because if we're going to help people grow their business, they need to know how to get paid. I just spent yesterday down in Sydney showing people how to get paid. And we're talking about the whole process of it's really hard to create financial freedom if you don't even know how to get your paycheck, right? Like if you don't know how to get your paycheck, how are you going to get financial freedom? That is a challenge. So what we need to do is show people how to get paid. Now, here is the problem. And this is the biggest problem I see when people struggle with. And again, I was, talking to people after the event yesterday and, can't get people paid. I can bring them in, but I can't get people paid, all that kind of stuff. We come back to this little quadrant here, okay? And P. What we need to remember is that 95% of people live over this left-hand side of the quadrant. Only about 5% of people live over here. And that's like truly live and breathe. Some people are aware of this process, right? But only about 5% of people truly live and breathe over in this right-hand side of the quadrant. The high likelihood is that the people you're speaking to, probably 95% of the people you talk to in your day-to-day life, live over here. This is a mystery to them. They don't understand it. They do not know what residual income is. Most people have never read a book since they left school. The second they've left school, they've never read a book. Most people you're talking to day to day have not got up at 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning and done a live training, right? Most people you talk to are not sitting here on a Saturday night like you guys are, tuning into training processes. Most people are not dedicating their life to personal development. Most people have not gone to an event. Most people have not started to look outside the box and peer around at what else is available out there. So for them, telling them that your company pays in 37 different ways to 14 different levels and 7 different bonus pools and all that kind of stuff, you know what? It's overwhelming. And I see it so much. People sit there and I see it, unfortunately, on their Facebook statuses. And it's like, I'm working with a company and we pay in 14 different bonus pool levels. The only people who understand what that means are already in network marketing. So the only people who understand what you mean already have their own network marketing business, their own network marketing company. What you need to do is you need to speak the language of the people you're talking to. I need to speak the language of CrossFitters if I want to talk to CrossFitters. So if I want to speak to the brand new person in the street, the person who served me dinner last night, when I'm talking to that person, I don't sit there and say, well, yes, I'm working with this multinational company and we pay all these different binary levels and I've earned all this amount of money. I say, would you like to know how to make an extra $200 a week? If I could show you how to make $200 a week, would that help? If you like our products, you enjoy our products, and you tell a few friends, you could make $50 to $100 to $200 a week. Start there. Again, we get so caught up in trying to tell this story that people get overwhelmed because we show them steps 3 and 4, or we tell them about steps 3 and 4 instead of just showing them step number 1. Angie, I know you loved our products. If you've got 2 friends who do this with you, I can get you $200 next week. Would that help in your daily budget? Would that help in your family budget? If I could show you how to get $200 a week. How do we do that? Cool. Who do you really want to work with? You're a mum. Do you want to talk to other mums? Yep. What's the best thing that you loved about the products? I love that it helped me de-stress. All right. How about we help some mums de-stress their life? Do you know any other mums who are stressed in their life? And if you bring those 2 mums and they join, I can help you get $200. Is that an easier conversation to understand than, hey, Angie, would you be interested in building a business? And I can show you, if you just build 7 different legs to 14 different levels, I can show you how to make $1 million a year. It's too overwhelming, right? It's too crazy for people. People sit there and that doesn't, head exploded, right? Just show them. Now, the reality is, with human nature and the way humans are, if Angie can't enroll 2 people, she probably can't enroll 200, right? So why not just see if she can enroll 2 people first? Unfortunately, there are people who just don't have great people skills. There are people who don't have great networks. There are people who don't know what to say to people, don't have great communication skills, don't have great confidence, have a lot of fear, have a lot of self-doubt. Unfortunately, a lot of people who come into this industry come in with a lot of self-doubt, a lot of lack of confidence, a lot of struggle with communication. And we offer so much in this industry as far as personal development to help, which is awesome. But if someone's struggling with their communication, if they're struggling with fear, saying, hey, yeah, just do a Facebook Live, just tell everyone how you lost 5 kilo or how you look 5 years younger or how, you all these sorts of things, how you just had an amazing holiday for free. Tell them all those sorts of things on a Facebook Live and 50 people will sign up. Guys, we scare people away. We scare people away because we try and tell them because we're excited. We've seen the potential. We've gone to the event. We've seen the top income earner. Let's just say, hey, can you find 2 people? Hey, you know what? How about we help those 2 people find 2 people as well? And if we can help those 2 people find 2 people, then we can help those 4 people find 8 people, right? How about we just start to show them this process and duplicate? So, yes, Misty, yes. Pop that up on there. Do we get a replay over and over? Yes. So this will be up. This will stay up on my Facebook page or in the group, wherever you're watching it from. And it will also go up onto YouTube. So give me 3 or 4 days, once we just get the recording, clean it all up, it'll be up on my YouTube channel forever. But thank you for asking that question. Actually, Misty, I'm going to spin the wheel for you once we finish this little thing, because that'll be our halfway mark. So just coming through here. Yes, awesome, Peter. Peter's got his light bulbs on. Awesome, Peter. Thank you. Thanks for being here, mate. Cool. All right. So when we talk about getting people paid, I like to talk about it in a 3-step process, okay? Now, every compensation plan is different, and I'm not going to sit here and try and teach you your compensation plan because you know your compensation plan. I don't. But I guarantee you, your compensation plan has 3 different sections. It has an entree, okay? And for our Americans, your appetizers. You have a main course, and again, Americans, this is your entree. I guess what you call entree, we call mains. What you call appetizers, everyone else in the world. We also use the metric system too, Americans, like anytime you want to join us, but you know, that'd be great. And then we have our dessert, right? So I'm just joking. Americans, I'm joking. So entrees, main course, dessert. This is how our companies pay us, right? It's a 3-stage process. So our entrees are when we join a company. Again, we get that first taste of helping someone get started. We get the first taste of helping people get started. We get those product introductory bonuses. We get those sign-up bonuses. We get those new enrollment bonuses, all that kind of stuff. Even some of, your fast start things at the start. They are how you help people get started, and that is your entree, okay? So that's just like in a restaurant, you get that little meal at the start just to see if you want to eat more. Now, if you don't have a huge appetite, a lot of people can just live off the entrees. A lot of people are very happy just having a business where they enroll people and they're just in a sort of direct sales setup, essentially, and they're enrolling people and bringing them into the business, okay? And they're earning these sign-up bonuses, they're earning active income, they're earning the entrees, and that is awesome. Again, as long as you just understand there's not going to be those stage 3 and stage 4 processes here, those residual and passive income processes. On the other side of the coin is dessert. Now, dessert are all your really fancy, cool bonuses. And again, we love to lead with the fancy, cool bonuses. Oh my goodness, our company is paying this bonus. Our company's got this bonus this month, right? Now, dessert is really lovely. It's awesome, okay? I've probably eaten a little bit too much of it in the last year or so with all the, just lack of travel, lack of getting outside. And what happens when you eat too much dessert? Like sugar high and then sugar crash, okay? Sugar high and then sugar crash. We can't live off dessert. So many people, when they're building their business, they're so focused on how do I get this bonus? How do I get this bonus? How do I get this bonus? And their income is like this. Right? Their income is very schizophrenic. And if you have a schizophrenic income, you're not going to be able to enjoy life because one day you're making 1,000, the next day you're making 5. And it's really, really hard to get that like consistent income that brings you freedom, okay? The main course of your business, the main course of your compensation plan is the volume. What do you get paid every week on the volume? Okay. Nothing about how many people joined, nothing about like compounds, nothing about 10% bonuses, all that kind of stuff. Just the meat and potatoes, okay, of your compensation plan. Now, the main course is often not that interesting. And this is the key. Entrees, fairly interesting, okay. Desserts, incredibly interesting, fancy, nice colors, very sweet, okay. The main course is often, a bit bland. And the reality is, you probably only eat entrees occasionally. You probably shouldn't eat dessert too many times, but you eat a main course consistently, at least 3 times a day, right? A breakfast main course, a lunch main course, and a dinner main course. This is not going to be fancy all the time. And in fact, it probably shouldn't be. But this is what you live off. We live off the main courses. Yes, the entrees are great. Yes, the desserts are amazing. But we live off main courses. And so what is the aspect of your compensation plan? I can't tell you it. I don't know. But what is the part of your compensation plan that is the main course. If you know the main course and you learn it, then you will be able to earn a great income. Now, again, when someone comes in, just show them the entree first. Like you're going to a restaurant. What happens when you go to a restaurant? You see the entree first. Then you see the main course. And then after that, they come out with the dessert. Let's just show you the entree. Let's show you the main course. And then once you've started to eat, once you've actually ordered and once you've started to consume, then let's have a look at the dessert. When you go out for dinner, they don't show you the dessert menu straight away, right? Do they? Because what would happen? No one would eat main course. Everyone would just eat dessert, and then they will have sugar crashes, right? And they get diabetes and all those sorts of health problems that come with it. So when you're showing people, again, we come back to this point earlier about taking people through the process. All your bonuses and all the really cool stuff, all your desserts are over here. Just show them the entree, show them the main course, and then see if they can do it. If they can't do that, there's no point telling them the rest of the story. You're just going to overwhelm them. You give people two things to do, they'll do none. You give them one thing to do, they can do it. Give them the next step in the process. If you give them the next step in the process, they will be able to do it. If you give them 27 steps, they won't be able to do it. If you oversell your compensation plan, you're only going to turn people away because you're not speaking to the average person who lives over here. You're trying to speak to other network marketers. Now, if you want to speak to other network marketers, if that's a choice you're making, well, that's fine. I'm speaking to network marketers here, but I'm not trying to sit there and say my company is better than yours. I just want to talk to network marketers about how to create financial freedom. If you're trying to talk to network marketers about why your company is better than theirs, maybe that's not the best business approach, right? This is not an ethical thing we should ever do in our lives. But the reality is when you start talking about things and even seeing people, our company pays like this much commission, the highest commissions. What we need to understand is that customers will start to understand that the higher the commissions, the higher the cost of the product. So if you're earning a massive commission, the customers also will understand that, well, actually, your products are probably overly expensive then. Why am I paying all this money for these products just for you to earn like these ridiculous commissions, right? Let's just check our language, right? And understand that when we go through this process, we're going to take people through it step by step. All right, super quick. Let's have a, yes, it's unhealthy. Sharon, yes, you cannot sustain a strong body if you're just living off dessert, right? Okay, so super quick. I'll just have a quick little 2-minute recess while we spin the wheel for Misty. So thanks to everyone who's participating. Misty's asking that great question. Again, just a super reminder, if you have come in late, if you're getting value out of this, you're sharing it out to your team wall, sharing it out to someone, anything like that, just let me know. Comment shared in there. Okay, drop a love heart, drop a shared, and I will send you our 4 Steps to 4-Figure Months program, which is almost created. It's like a day or two off creating. It's that brand new. And again, just a reminder for our mastermind guys, you'll be getting this program as well. I'll be sending it directly to you very, very soon. Anyway, Misty. Or you earn our attraction marketing program. So I've got the attraction marketing blueprint, but we've also got an attraction marketing program, which is really, really cool. So I will be sending you that as well. So send me a message, Misty, and I will send you that attraction marketing program. It's like a 5-video program, goes into more depth. Hey, Chris, great to have you here. All right, people are understanding, people are learning. Cool. All right, so we're right on the hour mark. Look at that. We are halfway through the program. We are at steps 3 and 4, which is really, really cool. So we are on time. Hannah, thank you for sharing. Hannah as well, you get that program anyway, but thank you for sharing. You're one of my mastermind crew, you know that. So you'll get that program in the next couple of days as well once it comes out, which is really, really cool. Like I said, I've just got to get Jack to finalize the video editing. Okay, step number 3, and this is the big one. Okay, this is the most important one, and this is the one we seem to struggle with the most. So stage 3, residual. Okay, so super quick recap. So stage 1, active income. Two key skills we need are how to network and how to market. Stage 2, leverage. How to duplicate, simply duplicate, not copy and paste, not plagiarize, not spam, but simply duplicate. And two, how to show people how to get paid in their language. Show them their language. Just take them through the steps of your compensation plan. Show them the entree, show them the main course, okay? And then show them the desserts afterwards. Do not lead with dessert. Stage 3, residual income, okay? And this is where the rubber meets the road, okay? This is where we start to get really, really important. This is obviously the coolest thing that we offer in this industry. It's also the hardest thing to achieve because for all that we sell about, residual income, financial freedom, we're not actually that good at teaching this. And this is one of the things that, I find a real shame because a lot of people get stuck in this whole, they want residual income, but they're not getting it. And to me, it's because we're not really great at showing people what's actually residual income. Now, before we talked about duplication, and it is this whole, you got to have systems, you got to have tools, you got to have people following processes, but that is not residual income. That is not residual income. If people follow your systems, follow your tools, duplicate what you're doing, you are getting leveraged income. Now, leveraged income is cool, but you have a team of followers who are dependent on you. When we go back to our little quadrant and we talk about how do we get over this bridge, how do we get from a leveraged income to a residual income, this is the hardest step to do, but it's also the difference between $50,000 a year and $500,000 a year. It's the difference between a really good income and a great life. This is what separates the sort of middle class from the high income earners. So it's not going to be the easiest step, right? And most people don't manage to do this step. Most people struggle with this step. But that's why most people don't reach that residual income. And if you can master this step, you get to be in the minority. You get to be the people who are at the front of the queue, right? So the two key skills that we need for residual income are, one, the first skill is we need to identify. Okay, what do we need to identify? So when we have systems and duplications and people following things, okay, when you follow, you're not leading. Residual income is a leadership income. Now, most people in your team are going to be pretty happy to follow. Most people are going to be pretty happy to follow your systems, follow your tools, tell me what to do. They'll go with you to the event. They'll follow you to the event, okay? They'll follow what the person on stage says. They'll follow the company promotion. They'll follow what the video says, okay? Then you're going to have a small percentage of people who want to lead, who want to do it their own way. And we always have this amazing conundrum. We have this kind of paradox, this conundrum where we sit there and I want everyone to follow my systems and I also want people to think for themselves. And it's a very similar conundrum to what we were talking about in step 1, where your company owner's everyone's going to want this new product, but also you're probably going to get 9 out of 10 no's. If everyone's following, no one's leading. And if everyone's leading, no one's following your systems, which sucks, right? That's a challenge. So one of the key skills that we need to do here is we need to identify who in our team is a follower and who in our team is a leader. And what we need to identify and separate. Because if you tell a leader to follow this system, color inside the lines, stay inside your box, do what you're told, they're going to leave. Because they're a leader. Leaders are wired differently. Leaders are not wired to follow. Leaders are not wired to follow the system that you say, right? But if you have a follower and tell them, you know what, just go out, create your own content, do whatever you want. It doesn't matter if you get 29 no's because that 30th person is going to say yes. Go out and create your own systems. Do whatever you want. This is incredible. Be yourself. Be your own boss. Just go out and fail until you get there. They're going to get scared away too, right? Your leaders are going to get frustrated and leave, and your followers are going to get scared and leave. And either way, people leave your business. So what we need to do is identify that in your team, for all the people coming into your team, most are going to follow, but you're going to have a small percentage who want to lead, and we get them out of our systems. How do you identify the people who are going to lead? Well, one of the great ways is to become a leader yourself, because game recognizes game, iron sharpens iron, all those sorts of things. If you're just sitting around waiting for your company to come up with the next promotion, if you're sitting around waiting for your upline to tell you what to do, if you're sitting around waiting to be told the next step, then you're following, right? The reality is that you're following. It's totally fine. It's totally okay if you want to follow. You don't have to be a leader. But if you want to do this step, if you want to take this residual income step, what you need to do is you need to become a leader so that you attract leaders. I also talked in the start about, as a CrossFitter, I can speak CrossFitters' languages. As a physio, I can speak the language of physios. As someone who loves financial mindset and financial investing and has experience in it, I can speak those words to other people who love finances. So as you become a leader, you start listening to leadership podcasts, you start hanging around other leaders, you start reading leadership books, you're going to notice your language changes. And when your language changes, you're going to be able to speak to other leaders, and they will then identify you, right? Because game recognizes game. People always ask me, how do I find more leaders? You will actually generally find that the leaders will find you. Okay, if you're here leading every day in your habits, in your commitment, in your processes, in your dedication to your personal development, if you're showing up consistently, developing yourself, growing yourself, there's going to be people in your downline, people in your team who are going to sit there and go, man, look at what Jane's doing today. Jane is crushing it. I want to work with Jane. I'm sick of following this system. I want to reach up. And I know that's me, because I know that I'm wired differently. I know that, and people would sit there, well, you're a natural born leader. I don't think I was a natural born leader. I was just born wired differently. So when I started, I just sat there and I'm like, you know what? We want to crush this. This is going to be our financial freedom vehicle. And I just reached up until I found a 7-figure earner who would listen to me and who would talk to me. I just kept reaching up until one of them, probably 4 or 5 levels above me, 7-figure annual earner. And I said, mate, show me what to do. Teach me. And he saw that commitment. He saw my dedication. He saw my growth. He saw that I was getting up and showing up every single day. And he took me under his wing and he mentored me for years, right? I've been very, very fortunate, very lucky to find some incredible leaders and who've become mentors, who've become friends. But it's also because we dedicated ourselves to growth. We dedicated ourselves to doing the actions. We dedicated ourselves to showing up every single day. So what you need to do is you need to make that commitment. You need to make that commitment today, and then you'll be able to identify those leaders, or they'll see you and they'll come to you. You're going to identify the leaders who are the people who are at every single event, and they're not just at every single event. They're there in the front seat. They're there early. They leave last. They're sitting in the front seat ready to go. They leave the event and get into action. You're also going to have people, one of my closest friends, one of my best friends from grade 1, been coming to events for years, and every single time I say, mate, I'll save you a seat at the front seat with me. I'll save you a seat up in the front row with me. And he's like, no, I'll just sit at the back. It's like, at some point you got to show up early and move to the front, right? But he comes in late, he sits at the back, and then he leaves. He's just not wanting to lead. So that's fine. He stays in the duplication level. He stays at stage 2. He follows processes. He follows systems. He follows templates. And then we find those leaders and we pull them out of the system. Awesome. Sorry, just checking out these comments. So we pull them out of the system and we get them out. Does that make sense? Okay. Am I making sense here? Because this is the key. This is the key, that you cannot get leaders to duplicate and you cannot get followers to lead. It's just genetically, you cannot get an apple tree to give you pears. You can, in the words of Jim Rohn, you can sit there all day and do all the personal development reading to that tree. You can sit there and give it affirmations, give it vision boards, give it all the love and support in the world. It's not going to give you pear. It's an apple tree. So rather than try and get the apple tree to give you pears, just go out and find the pears and separate them from the apple trees. You're going to have all these apple trees and you're going to have a few pear trees. And if you do that, then you will able to actually break your team up and have residual income. Because the difference between leverage and residual, it can get a bit confusing for people. Leverage means I can sit there and have 100 people on my Zoom call. I say, hey guys, this week we're going to all do a post about New Year's resolutions, how to become financially free in 2023. Everyone do like a similar post. Here's a bit of a template. Okay, awesome. 100 people do it. Great leverage. I did one Zoom call and 100 people got into action. Leadership, residual income, is that I had 10 leaders all doing their own Zoom calls. Now, these 10 leaders, this leader might do a New Year's resolution one, this one might do a mindset one, this one might do a goals one, this one might do a weight loss one, this one might do a travel one, this one might do a skin one. Like leaders are going to have their own concepts on things. They're going to have their own ideas on things. They're going to sit there and say, well, yeah, Andrew's talking about, New Year's resolutions, but I want to talk about mindset. I understand like we're working in the same system, but I'm going to do it differently, right? And that's the key to leaders. Janice, I'm a leader. Hannah, great question. Hannah, thank you. Great question. Which book about leadership would you recommend? So the two best books, I think, on leadership, I think they're both behind me here. This one is the absolute very best, okay? Bit of glare there, sorry. John Maxwell's 5 Levels of Leadership is the absolute best leadership book. I read this at least once a year. I've got it on this, and you can see it's very well worn, very well read. I've got it on Audible as well. So I listen to it a couple of times a year, at least read it once a year, at least listen to it once a year each. That 5, 6, 7, probably 7 years ago was when we really figured out we needed to go down this leadership path. Again, we could get people to here and our business was here and we could get people here. We couldn't break through. So went down that leadership path. John Maxwell, everything about John Maxwell I love. I actually got to meet him a few years ago. Pop a photo up of here of he and I. It was 2019. Got to spend a couple of days with him in his offices in Atlanta. But that 5 Levels of Leadership particularly is one of the most incredible books I've ever read, and I continue to read, okay? The second one is Tribes by Seth Godin. I think, actually, Angie, I think that's in Angie's office, that one. Tribes by Seth Godin, because Tribes is particularly about creating culture and creating a volunteer army, right? How do people create cultures and stuff like that? Because culture is how you lead a big team. And in network marketing in this industry, most people are volunteers, right? Most people are volunteers who come in and they're working for free a lot of the time. So that's that would be the just going to see. No, it's too. I was going to try and find that photo of John Maxwell and I, but it's far too complex at this point. Thank you, Susan. Thank you for sharing. Peter, Misty, Zoom analogy. Yes, I'm a leader. Janice, awesome. Commit. So Hannah, 5 Levels of Leadership and Tribes by Seth Godin. And just remember as well, Hannah, you've got that leadership masterclass in your back office in that members area because you're one of my elite clients. So here's the really important one. This is the true separator. So first question, how do you find them? Often they find you. You find them by becoming a leader. You identify character traits. Okay? People all the time, I found this guy and he owns 27 different gyms. He's going to be a leader. Give me the person with commitment and drive over the person who owns 27 gyms. Now, if he owns 27 gyms, he's probably got commitment and drive to get to that point in his life. But also, he could be so focused on those 27 gyms that he doesn't have time for your, what he considers a cute little side hustle, or he just inherited those 27 gyms from his dad, right? The reality is, find people with commitment, character traits. I would rather find someone who is committed and teach them a business model than find someone who's interested in business and get them to learn how to be authentic, how to care about people, how to lead a team, all that kind of stuff. I would rather find people who have character traits of dedication, authenticity, integrity, leadership, grit, determination. I'd rather find those people and teach them a business model in the same way that I'd rather find people who love products and love helping people and teach them how to build a business than try and find people who are interested in business and then tell them why they should use my products. Because you can't fall in love and then show them the other side of the coin, right? Find people who already have these character traits and show them. So the first step is, how do you identify these leaders and then get them out? And then what do? You have to teach them this. Fundamentals. What do you do with the leaders? Key skill number 2, what do you do with these potential leaders, these people with grit and determination? You teach them fundamentals of network marketing, and then they go off and build it their own way. This is the single hardest thing to do, and it takes time. But again, this is also how you change your business from, $50,000 to $100,000 tops to $500,000, $1 million, right? And beyond. If you are leveraging, if you are following, I know for some people, $50,000 is a goal, right? $50,000, $100,000 is a goal. You do that by following. You can earn up to 6 figures in this industry by simply following. If everything I've said in the last sort of 15 minutes or so, and everything I talk about here for the next 10 minutes or so is overwhelming you, then do not worry. You can earn $50,000 to $100,000 just following alone. That is totally okay. I'll show you how to turn that into financial freedom in stage number 4. But if you want to go from $100,000 to $1 million a year, you need to know the fundamentals so that you can teach the fundamentals, because you need to teach your leaders how to lead their own team. These are budding leaders. These are people with potential. These are people who could possibly build a business, but they need you to show them what to do. You need to teach them how to do it, right? And so how do you know what to teach them? By learning it yourself. Right? How do you become a great leader? By going out and studying leadership. How do you learn network marketing? By learning network marketing. And I know that's like, well, boring. Like, what's the ninja secret? There is no secret here, guys. There is no secret that at some point you need to do the work. Again, in this industry, you can follow and not really use your brain and earn $50,000 to $100,000 if you just work hard. Working hard, which is awesome. That's absolutely incredible. But if you want to earn $1 million a year, you've got to do some work at some point. You've got to learn the skills so that you can teach the skills. And, you'd speak to people and they're like, oh, can you train my person? Can I plug this person into you? Like, at some point, you need to teach your own people. Because, what are you showing them? You're showing them how to look for shortcuts. You're showing them how to be lazy. You're showing them how to try and not do the work. And we don't want to do that. So you need to show people the fundamentals. Okay. Awesome. Chris, no worries, mate. You need to show people the fundamentals so that you can teach the fundamentals. One of the greatest bits of advice I ever got, and again, I talked about this yesterday. Yesterday, we were down in Sydney and there was every IT issue in the world. When I got there, I arrived, things are falling apart. They couldn't get the music going on, all that kind of stuff. And there was panic and all that kind of stuff. I said, you know what, guys, it's okay, because low tech, high check. One of the greatest bits of advice I ever got, and this was from a lady. It was at our very first ever event. Andrew and I went to our very first ever event, and we're sitting there, and this incredible trainer lady, she just had that, just that power, someone who just stands on stage and they have the confidence and the posture and the power. She's earning multiple 7 figures a year, not just earned multiple 7 figures. She's earning multiple 7 figures a year. And she's sitting there and she just totally crushed this whole event. She basically trained a 2-day event all herself. And I remember just for all that she said across these 2 days, she said low tech, high check. She said, if you cannot write it out on a piece of paper, if you cannot explain it low tech, simple to someone, you do not know it. Richard Branson says anyone, any idiot, he says, but anyone can make things more complex. True genius is in making it simple. Why do I use a flip chart and a black pen when I could use all these other things? Because low tech, high check. I made a commitment to myself that I would learn this well enough that I could teach it with a flip chart and a pen. That's the commitment to be able to teach the fundamentals, so you can teach the fundamentals. Because for Angie and I, Angie and I are a married couple with 2 children. There are people in our team who aren't married. There are people in our team who are single. There are people in our team who are older. There are people who are in a team who are very, very young. For them, they don't want to build the same way we build, and we don't want to build the same way they build. For some of them, they're doing like launch parties every single night. They're traveling around, they're in caravans, all that kind of stuff. We don't want to do that. Our kids are in a great school. We love the home that we live in, so we want to stay here and do things our way. But if we teach them the fundamentals, they go off and build their team their way. We build our team our way. And we get the residual income because they're building their team. We're not showing them how to build their team. We took them through the process. We taught them the fundamentals. What are the fundamentals? How to network, how to market, how to show people how to get paid. That's essentially it. Again, I did a post in the Way Out community recently, like there's a few books in my head, and one of them is, the Core 4. The Core 4 or the Fortune 4. I haven't quite decided. Is it the Core 4 or the Fortune 4? Like, which do you prefer, right? But the 4 skills that you need to know. What are the 4 skills to make your fortune, or the core 4 skills that you need to learn? Is it, core or fortune? That's a coin flip at the moment. But it's essentially how to network, how to market, how to get paid, and then how to teach your people how to network, market, and get paid. So skill number 1 is how to network. Skill number 2 is how to market. Skill number 3 is how to get paid. And skill number 4 is how to teach people those 3 steps, right? That is the fundamentals. And that's what creates great leadership. And that's what creates great residual income. So if you want to make the commitment to earning an income or residual income in this industry, at some point you have to learn the fundamentals well enough to teach them. And I learned that from a guy called Eric Worre, who you probably have all heard of. And I remember learning this right at the very, very start of our business build. Once Angie and I started attending events, here we go, core fortune. See, the problem is hey, Helen, morning. So Eric, when we first started attending events, when we first started taking this thing seriously, because we were a bit slow out of the blocks, Angie and I, story for another day. But when we started going to events and everyone's like, you got to read GoPro. And if you've ever read GoPro, I'm sure you all have. Again, it's on the shelf there somewhere. Eric says in like the very first chapter of the book, in the introduction of the book, he says, I figured out that like the people who got paid the most were the experts. The experts in the field got paid the most, so I decided to become an expert in network marketing. And I remember thinking, well, if I could be 1% as good as Eric Worre, I could make 1% what Eric Worre is making. And, at the time we were making like $50. So 1% of what Eric Worre was making would have been awesome, like incredible. It was just a matter of, well, how do I just become better? How do I get 2%, 3% of mastery, 5% of mastery, 10% of mastery? I'm definitely not at 100% mastery, right? But the key is if I can just continue to learn it well enough that I can teach it and continue to grow myself, I can continue to teach it and we continue to grow our business. And that's the commitment you need to make. How do you become, what is your unique selling potential? How do you become that expert in your field? Again, we talked about that in step number 1. Really, truly knowing something so well that you can talk about it all the time. The value that you can give to people. You can sit there and create a heap of content about it. Your marketing, your content creation, it's about something that you love. So learn these fundamentals so that you can teach these fundamentals. Jessica, the core fortune 4. That doesn't help at all, Jess. But you make that commitment to learn them well enough that you can teach them. And that's how I did sort of end up into this space, because it was Fraser Brooks, who, again, I'm sure you all know, was doing an event on the Gold Coast many years ago. He was brand new. This event was very small, very intimate, which was awesome. It was like just him and Svetlana doing it together. And he said to me a couple of days before the event, he said, oh, look, I did have one guy speaking for a little bit on Saturday afternoon for an hour or so, but he's just pulled out. He had an eye infection. He had to go to hospital. Can you step up and speak for an hour, like at short notice? What can you train? And so, well, what could I train? Stuff that I was good at, stuff that I love to talk about. I love to talk about the financial mindset for network marketers. So I got up and I trained for an hour on financial mindset for network marketers. And he was like, mate, like you should keep going with this. This is really, really cool. This is something that you obviously love. You can see that passion in your voice when you're talking about it, right? So you need to create this expertise. You don't have to be the expert. You don't have to be Eric Worre, but you have to create your own expertise. You have to learn your fundamentals so that you can show and teach people how to build their business. And if you can do that, you will have incredible success. So I can't show you how to do that really, because to show you how to do that would take years. But if you understand this concept that you identify okay? Identify these people, get them out of the process, and in the process of becoming an expert in what you do, in dedicating yourself to learning, in dedicating yourself to mastering this, growing yourself, personal development, all those things, once you go first, these people are going to find you and you're going to be able to know what to do with them when you find them. Again, people all the time say, how do I find leaders? And I say, don't ask about how to find leaders. The better question is, what do I do with a leader when I do find him or her? Don't ask, how do I find the leader? Ask, what do I do with these people when I find them or they find me? You ask that question, you'll get a better answer. Better questions lead to better answers. Okay, last one. Kerry Hayes here, Kerry Louise Hayes. Thank you for that comment. Just before we go into our last stage number 4, I want to spin this wheel for you, Kerry. So Kerry, hang on, do a proper big spin. Kerry, time. You've won our time management mastery program. So Kerry, I need you to send me a message. After this, shoot me a message and I want to send you our time management mastery program to hopefully help you build your business better. So shoot me a message. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for that comment. And you've won that little bonus little prize. Okay, so final step number 4, we need to passive income. We need to go into the passive income step, okay? So stage number 4, and this is when we give our money a job. So we've had a job, we've built our business, we've grown. Now let's go off and put our money to work, okay? Because again, financial freedom isn't how much money you're making. Financial freedom is how much money your money's making. Because the problem with humans is that we can only really work 40 to 50 hours a week, 60 if you're kind of pretty crazy. But your money can work 24/7. Your money can work while you sleep. Now, again, if you build great leadership and you build great teams, those teams will build while you sleep too. Those teams will be building while you're having a holiday, all that kind of stuff. When you have followers, they work when you work. They jump on the Zoom call, you take a week off. They don't jump on the Zoom call, nothing happens, right? That's the problem with followers. When you have leaders, they work when you aren't working. When you have investment, your money works when you're not working, which is really, really awesome. So let's talk about the two key skills you need to have to be a great investor. So the 2 key skills you need to earn passive income. So the first one, and this is more a mindset, truly understanding, because one of the biggest problems, again, I talked about this right at the start. I know some people who jumped on late, okay? But one of the biggest problems with investing is that we actually teach it very poorly. And one of the things we do in this industry is like, it's got, you got to fake it till you make it almost, but like dress to impress, buy stuff to impress people. And we teach people how to buy things that don't make them money, okay? So what we need to do is really, it's an understanding of a very simple thing, okay? It's called assets versus liabilities. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Liabilities. So you don't even have to spell to be good in this industry. Very, very simple. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket consistently. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket consistently. So people say, I have an asset. My house is an asset. Your house is not an asset. The bank might ask you, so when you go to the bank and you say you need a business loan or a car loan, and they say, well, what assets do you have? And you say, oh, well, I've got my house and we've got furniture and stuff like that. This beautiful table again. So if you joined late, my wife made this incredibly beautiful table. Okay, isn't it amazing? It's absolutely love it. Again, it's from a tree that was cut down in the backyard that we had to cut down, unfortunately, but have a look at that beautiful table there. This is not an asset, but right, because it doesn't put money in our pocket. We could sit there and say to the bank, yeah, we've got, however many thousands of dollars worth of furniture and we've got cars and all that kind of stuff. But the bank is really just asking, what stuff do you have that, almost swore, what stuff do you have that we could sell if you don't pay the home loan? What crap do you have that we can like just take from you and sell? So your house is not an asset because it's taking money out of your pocket every week. There's your insurance, there's your electricity bills, there's your water bills, there's your council rates, there's your insurance, there's damages and repairs, right? Now, yes, having a house means you don't have to pay rent, But whether you're paying rent or whether you're paying interest to a bank or whatever, even if you own the house, it's still a liability because it's not putting money in your pocket just yet. It's taking money out of your pocket. You own a liability. And people go broke because they buy liabilities to impress their friends. They buy liabilities to try and convince other broke people that they're not broke. So they buy motorbikes and they buy nice cars. And again, your car is not a liability. I've never had a car like you pull up to the petrol station and you pull the petrol bowser out and like $100 just comes out of the petrol bowser and I put that $100 in my pocket and drive away. I've never had that happen, right? It's the exact opposite. I go there and I have to put $100 worth of fuel in and drive away, right? I like my car, but it's a liability. It's a liability because it costs us money every single week, okay? This asset class, assets are things that put money in your pocket every single week. So if you have a rental property and there's a tenant paying you rent, you have asset. I talked about this on my podcast, just the most recent podcast episode for those who do listen to the podcast. We talk about like land is not an investment as far as an asset because a block of land doesn't give you any money. The house on the land doesn't give you any money. It's the tenant in the house on the land that gives you money. So the house and land isn't really the asset. It's the ability to get a tenant to give you money every week, okay? And that's when we come to sort of skill number one, and it's more like an understanding mindset. Part B is cash flow versus capital gains, okay? And this is the really, really important thing to understand when you invest, is that cash flow is what creates freedom. Capital gains is a speculative, educated white-collar gamble to an extent, okay? So again, cash flow. I have a house. It costs us $500 a week for the, the payments and all that kind of stuff, and the tenant pays us $600 a week. We have a cash flow of $100. So we have a cash flow of $100 from this asset. We have an asset that gives us $100 a week. Now, $100 a week, yes, you can't live off it, but that $100 a week is going to grow, right? Because interest payments will go down as we pay the house off. Rent goes up as inflation grows and cost of living and housing expenses go up. Later on, it's $200, then it's $300, then it's $500. Once I have one house, I can buy a second. Now I've got two houses giving us $100 a week, right? This is the compound effect of investing. What we tend to do is we love to talk about capital gains. We love to talk about, my great uncle bought that block of land on the beach for $6,000 and everyone told him he was stupid. And the other day he sold it for $3 million. Everyone loves to tell that story, right? It's a really cool story. Yes, I bought Bitcoin at $10 and now it's worth $17,000. Everyone loves to tell that story. I found Tesla. I found Apple. Everyone's looking for the next Tesla and Apple, right? But here's the problem. First of all, that block of land cost you money every single year you held it. Now, yes, that great uncle was able to sell it, but there was no actual guarantee that he would be able to do that. That block of land may not have been on a place that took off. That block of land may have been in a place that got damaged, okay? There's no guarantee that that block of land will be worth more money. There's no guarantee that Tesla will be worth more tomorrow than it is today. There's no guarantee that Apple will be worth more tomorrow than it is today. Okay, I mean, Tesla and actually Apple, they're quite on their way down at the moment, right? When you invest for capital gains, it can become an emotional roller coaster because the stock's going to do this, and then it's like, oh, I'm a genius. Oh, I'm terrible. Oh, get rid of it. Oh, look at that. I'm amazing. Oh my goodness. And then it gets to here, and I was a genius, right? I was an absolute genius. But look at this emotional toil. Look at this roller coaster. Again, I mean, Bitcoin's the big one at the moment. I think it's about 19,000 this morning. It was 6,000, then it was 20,000, then it went back to 5,000, then it was 60,000, then it went down to 15,000. It's at 19,000 now. If you bought it at $10, yeah, okay, you can ride those waves. What if you bought it here, right? You bought it here and it went up and then it's come all the way down to here. How are you feeling right now? You don't have an asset. You have a liability at this point. Now, eventually, yes, it moved up and there was a bit of luck involved, but at this point, you're really crossing your fingers and hoping, okay? Capital gains investing is hoping that you can sell it for something later. If I bought this furniture for $1,000 and I can hopefully sell it later, if I buy this house, I can hopefully sell it later, but hope is not a reliable strategy. What we want to look at in investing is cash flow. Now, yeah, Sharon wants to know if you're taking orders, and Mandy, it's not. So Mandy, it's Camphor Laurel. I do know that off the top of my head. Lisa, yes, it's an anxiety. It's an absolute anxiety mess, right? And we talk about like if you already have money, if that great uncle had enough money to just put a $6,000 block of land away and not worry about it, yeah, awesome. But if you're like, hey, I need money to pay my bills each week, and I've got this $6,000 block of land, and it goes up to $10,000, you're probably selling it at $10,000 so you can pay the bills. It goes to like, you're not going to be able to sit there and hold it until it's $6 million. Angie and I, again, we do have 98% of our money in solid, consistent cash flow investments. We've got a couple of little crazy investments, and yeah, we've got some block of land. We've got some land on this, like little island in the coast in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, maybe one day it'll be a massive tourist attraction. Maybe one day it'll be an absolute bomb, but it's like a tiny, tiny fraction of our investment, right? 98% is in either houses that pay rent, because that rent that comes in every week we can live off. We can use that money to buy food for our kids. Or you buy stocks that pay dividends. Now, of course, this is not individual financial advice. I am not telling you what to do with your money. I'm telling you to go and learn these terms. Learn what capital gains is, learn what cash flow is, learn what like asset versus liability, learn how rent and learn how dividends work, okay? That's part of that fundamental process. If you want to be financially free, you do need to learn some stuff along the way. You do need to know some things, okay? And so you need to read a few books about capital gains, cash flow, understanding the difference. For us, it is rent, and for us, it is dividends. Now, the final skill here, bringing this all together, and this is probably the hardest skill in the world to master, is a little thing called patience. So right at the very, very, very start, I spoke about how I was here, financial freedom was here. This was me at like 25, before I met Angie, before she settled me down and pulled me into line, right? And I was like, how do I become financially free tomorrow? All right, I've got $10,000. What's the next Apple? I did ride Apple there for a little bit back in the, 15 years ago. But again, because I wasn't patient, I did some silly things. But I'm sitting there like, how do I get here, right? And then eventually we found network marketing. And what we did was we used our network marketing money, our network marketing income, as we got to that sort of $300 to $500 a week. We used that $300 to $500, not personal advice. This is just what we did. We used that $300 to $500 to invest in property. And so we had the cost of the house, we had our tenant paying us rent, and we would also put $200 to $300 of our $500. Let's say we're earning $500 a week at the time. We'd put about 50% of it into the house extra. So that meant the payments on the house went down faster. That meant the gap between what we were earning from the rent versus what it was costing us grew faster. And that gave us money to then either A, reinvest in our business, or B, buy property number 2. Then as we're reinvesting in our business, we're reinvesting in ourselves, we're reinvesting this money back into property, we were able to buy property number 2. Now we have 2 properties going up. Our business has grown to about $1,000 a week. Again, we didn't quit our jobs. We didn't leave too soon, okay? You do you, but for us, I stayed working as a physio. Angie stayed working as much as she could up until the end of her pregnancy so that we could say, you know what, we have our jobs, multiple streams of income. Why not keep our jobs, add in our network marketing business, because 3 incomes is better than 2. Then we bought house number 1. Now we've got 4 income streams. Then we used house number 1 to buy house number 2. We've got 5 income streams. We used house number 1 and 2 to buy house number 3. Okay, we've got 6 income streams, right? And we call this a wealth loop. Because once we had houses buying us other houses, imagine when you have a house that's buying you the next house, right? Angie and I were able to build, and at its peak, we did sell a few in the last year or so, just when the kind of market was like crazy. We cashed in a few. At its peak, we had 14 properties. I think we've got 9 or 10 at the moment. But we just built this loop where property number 1 allowed us to buy property number 2. Property number 2 allowed us to buy property number 3, right? And in the middle here was the network marketing business, and we were using that extra cash flow to buy more investments. Now, as I've said, and I talked about it earlier, if leadership overwhelms you, if you get overwhelmed with this mindset of leadership and it frustrates you and it can kind of, just overwhelm you a little bit, that is okay, because whether this is leveraged income, stage 2, or whether this is residual income, it really doesn't matter as long as you understand whether you have leveraged income or residual income. Because if you think you have residual income but you actually have leveraged income, that's when people quit their job too soon, take too many holidays too soon, buy too many liabilities too soon, okay? That's when they go off and do silly things and they leave their job and they quit and they stop showing up on the Zoom calls and they start taking really fancy holidays and they start buying cars or houses that they can't afford, right? And as I was talking about earlier, and they go broke even though they had a really good income. So whether this is leverage or whether this is residual, it doesn't matter. It's about understanding that why not stay in your job? Why not stay there with one stream of income, add a secondary income stream, a leveraged or residual income stream, and then use that income stream to buy you a third income stream. Now, again, I'm not going to give you individual financial advice. I'm not going to do that on a Facebook Live or a YouTube video or anything like that. But I am going to say, if you read a few books and you hang around people and you ask people for advice, they will be able to show you how you can put your money to work, okay? But go out there and learn first. Never put a cent into something that you don't understand. Never put a cent into something that you don't understand first. And guys, again, when I was like 21, 22, I was pretty broke there for a period of time. I was going to the library. I couldn't even afford these books. So you can go to the library. If you're sitting there saying, I don't know if I can afford $200-$300 worth of investment books, start at the library. Your, Think and Grow Rich, The Richest Man in Babylon, Cash Flow Quadrant, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. All those classics are going to be there and they're going to be free, and it might cost you $3 in late fees. You will have a better education than most financial planners with $3 worth of late fees at your library. If you just go and sit there and say, multiple streams of income, this is all about creating that loop. So now, yes, Angie and I do have a dream house. Yes, this house is a liability. Yes, we've bought nice cars. Yes, they are a liability. But our houses buy it for us, right? Our houses pay for those things, and our residual income pays for those things. So as we grow our business to $500 a week, to $1,000 a week, to $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 and beyond, that we could just keep putting in money. We could keep pouring money. We didn't quit too soon. We didn't buy the house too soon. We didn't buy the cars too soon. We waited until we created this wealth loop, and our money was creating money. And then when your money creates money, you have financial freedom. As I said at the start, spoiler alert, but you cannot get financial freedom from network marketing alone, but you can use your network marketing business to create a wealth loop and create financial freedom. And that is the greatest, stepping stone. This network marketing business as a stepping stone to financial freedom in your network marketing business is the greatest thing that you can do. There is no better way to increase the cash flow of your life. Like I said, we were able to, for $500 that we started our business with, we were able to create $300, $500, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 of cash flow every week. And we were able to pour that into investments, and we're able to create this property. And now we're moving into stocks. Okay, again, now our houses are buying us stocks, right? So our money's buying us money, which is buying us money, right? So our houses are buying us stocks, and you can create these wealth loops. And that, if we taught that, I think, if we really actually taught that to people and we showed how you can really create financial freedom through this industry, people would see our industry so differently. But we get so caught up in, again, telling that financial freedom story. We get so caught up in, where are we? Coming back here. We get so caught up in telling this story about, like, let me tell you about all my desserts. Let me tell you about all the amazing things in my business plan. Take people through the process. There's only 4 steps. It's like 4 steps. It's not that much, but we just want to skip to steps 3 and steps 4. So, yeah, awesome. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for that comment. Mandy, thank you. Oh, awesome. Lisa, yes, unfortunately, I don't think this has been taught enough. And this is why we're here. This is why we do these things. This is why you get up at 4:30 on a Sunday morning to run these sort of events, because I think this is what's lacking. But again, if we change what we teach, I think people will change how they see our industry. And if they can change how they see our industry, we won't have all the trolls and won't have all the negativity and won't have all those challenges that we deal with day to day in our industry. So that is the 4-stage process. So just always remember, I'll just do it on a fresh piece of paper, actually. Just always remember as we sort of recap and then we finish off, this is the cash flow quadrant, right? You've got active income, leveraged income, residual income, and passive income. Now, Robert Kiyosaki trains it a bit differently because he's got a business background. This is the network marketing cash flow quadrant, right? So active income, launching your business, how to network, how to market. Download this attraction marketing blueprint, download this business blueprint. Okay, go to andrewlogan.net if you need. Just go to andrewlogan.net and there's a section there like free tools and you can just download them all there. Leverage. How do I duplicate and how do I show people how to get paid, but I speak their language? I don't overwhelm them. I don't give them a schizophrenic business by just showing them the bonuses. I learn my compensation plan so I can teach my compensation plan, okay? And I show them the entrees in the main course to get them started, and then we enjoy a few bonuses along the way. Residual income. Identify the leaders in your team, separate them, and teach them what you've learned, okay? Teach them the fundamentals. What do you teach them? What you've learned. Teach them the things that you've learned along the way. By getting yourself there, you know how to show people the way. Go the way, know the way, go the way so that you can show the way. And then passive income. Learn, okay? Learn cash flow versus capital gains. Learn assets versus liabilities. Understand those things. Read a few books and develop patience. But if you can put your money to work and you can create this wealth loop and you can create patience, and those wealth loops can take 5 to 7 to 10 years, right? But also, it took me 4 years at university just to get a physio job. Like, I think we've always got to remember and put some things in perspective, right? I went to university and I paid the university a lot of money, $100,000 probably or so in the end, by the time it all came up with my, college and tuition and boarding fees and all that kind of stuff. Probably paid the university $100,000 and 4 years of my life just to get a job, right? Then it took me another 2 or 3 years to get decent at being a physio. And then it took me another 2 or 3 years and a home loan of my parents' house to set up my physio business and, get it going really well. So that was a 10-year commitment. I made a 10-year commitment at 17, 18 to go to university, learn how to be a physio, learn how to be a physio well enough that I could teach other staff what to do. I could teach other physios how to be physios, right? Because if I wanted to run a physio business, I had to be able to teach staff to treat patients when I wasn't there, okay? It's the same process in the real world, but we can just sort of think that this is magic. This is better than anything else out there, but it's not magic, right? You can't skip that process, right? You can't skip that learning process. So I did dedicate 10 years to my life to physiotherapy to be earning a good income. And then everyone would say, oh, you're lucky, look at you. You get to, you only have to treat patients 3 days a week. You get to have these long weekends with your wife and all that kind of stuff. So lucky, you got a nice car, all those sorts of things. Yeah, it was 10 years of hard work, 10 years of dedication. So if you've got the patience to go through this process, you'll be able to have the incredible results as well. The problem is, especially when we get to here, it can look hard. And as soon as it looks hard, we can often all right, well, I'm going to go somewhere else. Different company, it's easier over there. Different, different industry, different products, different, all these things. And instead, once we hit this point, that's when often people come back here and they start again. All right. So I'm making my notes. Yes, Ishmael. So yes, Ishmael, great question. I'm definitely not giving any financial advice here, but multiple streams of income is the way to, again, it's more stability as well. Okay, so we talk about, thank you, Janice. We talk about, financial freedom, financial stability. 2 incomes are better than 1. Okay, 3 incomes are better than 2. 4 incomes are better than 2. Right. Now, in saying all that, the one thing I'll just say, the one caveat is don't try and build 5, 6, 7 income streams at once. Focus on one. Okay. So the one before, right? Focus on your network marketing business, then start to invest. And then once you've got one house, then you can buy 2, right? We didn't try and buy 14 houses at once. We just bought 1. We read books about housing, about property investing. Then we bought 2, then we bought 3, right? So don't try and juggle 27 streams of income. But certainly having 2 income streams is always better than 1, because if something went wrong with 1 income stream and you only have 1 income stream, then you're in trouble, right? If you have 2 income streams and when something goes wrong with one of them, that's annoying, but you've always got that backup. And so that's why for Angie and I, as much as we were earning great income, we stayed in our jobs because we saw our network marketing business basically as our angel investor, as that, that venture capital company that was going to come in and allow us to invest. So we lived off our jobs, continued to live our lives as it was, and then went off and invested our money with our angel investor. Our network marketing company was our angel investor. So that's how we saw it. All right. So final little thing before we go. I know our NFL fans, you've probably missed the first quarter, but hey, 49ers are I think it's going to be a pretty one-sided game, isn't it? So let's learn. So final little stage, how do we accelerate this process? So if you want to, for me, it took me 10 years to be a great physio. It took us, 7 to 8 years to really sort of get it all together in this network marketing industry because I already had this investment and business background. How do you accelerate that process? And as I said, we can't shortcut the process. We can't skip the process because at some point we have to learn the fundamentals. We can launch without really knowing what we're doing. But if we want to get over here, we have to learn the fundamentals. So the only way to really accelerate the process is to learn from someone who's already gone down that path. Find someone who's already done it, ask them what they did, and then do that. Follow the path that laid down. We talk about leaders. Find someone who knows the way and has gone the way, and then get them to show you the way. So yes, Peter, 100%. Faster you recognize the skills, angel investor, all that kind of stuff. So super quick, just going to pop this up here. There we are. So if you do want to accelerate your business, if you do want to accelerate your growth, we do have our Financial Freedom Accelerator program. So this isn't a program we offer anywhere else, essentially outside of sort of right here at events. Okay, so you can't get it anywhere else. This is just an exclusive event program. But what we do is we take you through this 4-step process. So we take you through exactly how to create active income, exactly how to then leverage it. So I know someone's won the attraction marketing program, someone won that time management program. We show you how to create leadership and we show you how to then invest. Okay, and we can have different conversations in that arena because we're not having a live Facebook Live, YouTube conversation here. We're having actual training on how to find the best investment for you, how to build your business, how to lead, and how to find the best investment for you. This is our Freedom Accelerator program. What we do is we put in this whole 4-stage process into one package for you. And you also get 12 months membership into our VIP group. So you get weekly accountability calls with my wife. You get training from me every single week. We do monthly Q&As. We do quarterly boot camps. So you're not just buying programs that you're going to watch 2 or 3 videos and then forget. You're actually going to get that twice weekly between Angie and I, mentorship, that accountability, keeping you on track and keeping you in the process. So I'm not going to sit here and go on and on about it. If you're interested in accelerating this process, if you want to learn how to grow your business faster, shoot me a message. Just say, I'm interested. I want to learn. Okay. I want to know. You don't have to put down any money. You don't have to make any other commitment. Just shoot me a message and just say, yep, I want to get myself in that fast lane. I know I can't shortcut the process. I'm here to learn and I want to get into that fast lane, that inside lane. If you do that in the next 48 hours, we'll also organize a one-on-one 60-minute Zoom call and we'll take $1,000 off the program. So shoot me a message about that and we can go from there. Otherwise, as I said, guys, Thank you so much for being here. I hope you've got incredible value out of this. For those who did share this video out, and again, if you came in late or you're watching on the replay, if you're sharing it out to your team groups or anything like that, drop a shared comment in below, shoot me a message, just say I've shared it. So for those who share it, we've got our brand new program. Let me just find that correct slide. Our brand new program, our 4 Steps to 4-Figure Months program. It's so brand new that Jack is actually finishing it today. So for those who did share already, those who have commented that they've shared it, shoot me a personal message. Don't just comment below, but make sure you shoot me a personal message as well, so I know. And in the next 2 or 3 days, I'll be able to shoot that program over to you once it's totally finalized with the video team. Otherwise, join us again. If you're in our Way Out community, we do the Freedom Friday lives there. There's all the support in there. Keep an eye out. We'll be doing more live trainings, as I said, throughout the year. We've got the new beautiful desk here. We've got the new setup, all the cameras and the audio. So we'll be doing more of this kind of stuff. Hopefully I've helped you. Hopefully it's worth getting out of bed. Some of you have gotten out of bed. Some of you are staying up late. Some of you are doing incredible work, which is amazing. I appreciate you all being here, and we'll see you for another video soon. Catch you guys.